Well, it's me again, the old man. Today I'd like to talk about freedom's blood. We hear statements and slogans like freedom must be renewed through the sacrifice and shedding of blood. And Thomas Jefferson actually explains it. What country before ever existed a century and a half without a rebellion? And what country can preserve its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that their people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms. The remedy is to set them right as to facts, pardon, and pacify them, what signify a few lives lost in a century or two. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. You also hear things like, you'll have to pry this weapon from my cold dead hands, or don't tread on me, and many more such moving words, and mottos, and slogans. But when it comes down to it, you quit. You surrender before the second volley even begins. Why? You don't want to give up any of the comforts that you have. Those who gave us this nation didn't just bleed on a battlefield. Their bleeding consisted of losing what they owned and loved. They didn't just stand behind fancy, sometimes made up slogans by historians. They left their comfortable lives to suffer disease, horrible weather, no pay, and hunger, to establish their dream of a nation built on individual freedom. A nation that, not only for their children, but for all men could grow in, without the fear of a monarch of any kind who could take that freedom away from them, both then, now, and in the future. Are we willing to sacrifice just a little of your comfort? Just to bleed a little to keep that desire and dream alive? Or are you just waiting for someone else to do the battle which is rightfully yours? The blood of this nation isn't the blood which flows in your veins. The blood of this nation is what you are willing to fight for and what you are willing to lose. Right now, we are facing an unusual time in the history of this nation of freedom. We're facing many fronts, many different ones, locally and internationally. And like you, I have some unsettling questions in the back of my mind. The first one is the gas prices. The president keeps saying curious things which make me wonder about our gas pricing. He says we do not rely on shipments of oil which come through the Straits of Hormuz. So that shouldn't affect our gas pricing because we're not going to be paying those prices. He says we're willing to sell our surplus oil to other nations. He says we're receiving many shipments of Venezuelan oil. And he says we have many new oil wells for our nation. If these statements are true, then why are our national gas prices being blamed on the Straits of Hormuz? If we have such a surplus of oil coming from Venezuela, such a surplus of oil that we can afford to sell it to other nations, then the price of gasoline should be going down, not up. And why are we, the citizens of the USA, being price gouged for gas? Don't the oil corporations rake in enough profit without price gouging of the USA citizens? If we have such a surplus of oil, then our national gas prices should be dropping, not increasing. Something is rotten with the decisions of our elected representatives or in their statements, which are starting to sound just like the same kind of propaganda Iran is saying to their citizens. The existing gas pricing does not make any sense. What is the truth of why our gas prices are going up? Then there's the lingering issue of Hamas in the Gaza Strip. For a couple of years, President Trump kept saying if they did not surrender and disarm, they would be hell to pay. Yet the Hamas are still dug in and attacking. And President Trump has gone silent, with no hell brought down on the Hamas. What has happened to President Trump? Why has he gone silent? And now, even Israel has gone silent and are distancing themselves from the Trump administration. Now we have President Trump who keeps saying if Iran does some kind of attacks, breaking the ceasefire, that he would retaliate and bomb them off the face of the earth. Yet, Iran has never stopped their attacks. They have never agreed to a ceasefire. And again, President Trump has gone silent, allowing Iran to attack at will. How does Iran keep getting resupplied with the weapons they need? It's been speculated that China, Russia, and even North Korea have been resupplying Iran with weapons. The scary part is that we are unable to stop the underground resupplying of these weapons. How do we think we can keep Iran from getting nuclear weaponry and materials from one of these nations if we can't stop regular weapons? All of us need to get our heads out of the sand and recognize the need for us to be heard and seen, either in using our skills to change or even replace our elected representatives, to stop the hemorrhaging before it's too late. Our nation is getting pretty anemic. We need more courageous citizens to get involved. And I bring to you Isaiah 61, verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, and to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Your old man, William Anderson, Andy Anderson, Master Sergeant, U.S. Air Force, retired. May God be with you and God bless you in this time of need.